Well, my first attempt at making Res Staff good was a complete failure, but that's why I went back to the drawing board. I did say I had a couple of ideas after all. My next idea is one that involves Kamikaze Lifesteal. Now, for those of you who don't know, Kamikaze Lifesteal is a combination of passives that you can only get on an Orb of Potency. And what it does is it triggers a sort of glitch where after you hit something with your kamikaze, your dead animal heals itself, which has the potential to bring it back from the dead without the use of a res staff. This resurrection mechanic has led to it developing a notorious reputation for 1v3ing entire meta teams and winning. Now, this already has a resurrection mechanic, so why would you add a rest staff to it? Simple, we're not reviving the orb. In my last video, I said you needed a little bit of magic on your rest staff. Unless you get value just by dying. So, I want to utilize a Kamikaze Shield. My reasoning is that Kamikaze Lifesteal counters almost anything that isn't dagger or bow. And you know what eats up daggers and bows? Shields. So if we could have the resurrection staff revive the shield repeatedly and have the dagger or bow animal keep killing it, we can eliminate that threat. And the Kamikaze LS orb does very good against the leftover healers and tanks, because the low damage makes it very hard to kill the Kamikaze Lifesteal orb hard enough so that it can't resurrect itself. Now, my team proposal is Panda with the Res Staff, a 15 HP CP with the Kami LS Orb, and a 12-4 or a 13-3 tank with the Kami Shield. The Orb and tank animals have to have maximum HP so they can maximize Kamikaze Lifesteal benefits. And since our tank will be focused on HP, unlike other stall teams, we need to get our damage in somewhere else. And for that, I've opted for Panda on the Rest Staff. Because for most of the turns, Panda will just be idling because there will be nothing to revive. But during those turns, we don't want to waste them. So, shoutouts to Badri Madoon for suggesting this animal on my team. And it will do about 9,000 damage on average, considering you revive something 5 times. So maybe you're a bit skeptical, and I don't blame you. It's Res Staff and Orb on a team together? But let me do you some math. Well, more like I'll put the math up on screen and tell you the important bits. Basically, at around level 50, we can kill a dagger animal in 4 tank resurrections and kill an E-staff in 3 orb resurrections. These are all perfectly doable with the weapon points we have at hand. So, let's check our matchup spread again. For dagger, Kamikaze usually kills it. For E-staff and sword, again, the Kamikaze lifesteal this time will kill the attacker. It may go on to win against that team, but it usually results in a tie. Panda does die, but it doesn't really matter because Kamikaze lifesteal can 1v3. V-staff. You might need more resurrections because V-staff has heals, but overall, you should tie against this team. Blitz and double AoE. They're a bit iffy because there's 2 attacking weapons, but I think you should be fine against double AoE. Blitz, on the other hand, the mortality might mess up your lifesteal. Glacial Axe. Oh god, no, there's no telling with this team. So, why haven't I started using this team yet? It's a non-meta team that can compete with the meta, and something that finally uses Res Staff. It sounds too good to be true. But that's because it is too good to be true. The world is cruel, and Scoot wants nothing but suffering. Now, the first thing that fucks us over is the turn order. There are 3 phases to every battle. A pre-turn, a main turn, and a post-turn, and this is repeated 20 times. The first, the pre-turn, it houses shield and banner buffs. And then, following that is the rest of the weapons. And then after that is things like dagger, and weapon gen, and health gen. Res Staff acts during the main turn, So when our tank dies, they get murdered by poison, and then they're dead for the pre-turn and get revived in the main turn and thus never get a chance to taunt, and we just get wiped by dagger. Now, that's not the only thing that's holding this team back. Recently, Kamikaze Lifesteal was patched. No. Ah, it hurts.